What's good, Eagles fans? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II, and you guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I want to talk to you guys about the offensive line situation. As we already know, Brandon Brooks is on IR with a pectoral strain injury, and we really don't know when he's going to come back. At minimum, he's going to be gone for 3 weeks. But we honestly don't know when he's going to come back. In the meantime, Landon Dickerson will get the start at the right guard position. Now, in one of my previous videos, I did mention that it would be a toss-up between Landon Dickerson and Nate Herbig. And I was of the mindset thinking that Nate Herbig would be the guy because, one, he has more experience with these guys, more so than Landon Dickerson. Also, I understand that Landon Dickerson has been dealing with a lot of injuries in his past at Florida State and at Alabama. And I know we were waiting to allow that guy to get healthy. We were waiting to insert him to the starting lineup next season because we were anticipating this entire offensive line remaining healthy throughout the better part of this season. But Brandon Brooks, it's already been 2 weeks and he's already dealing with a near season-ending injury. Now, again, he's not out for the season, but they did place him on IR. And they've also brought up a bunch of different guys to bolster the offensive line. But this begs the question, how healthy is Landon Dickerson? Like I said, he's going to be filling in for Brandon Brooks. And we already have a guy in Brandon Brooks who's been dealing with injuries. Landon Dickerson has a history of injuries. And how healthy is he? I was of the mindset that Landon Dickerson was more so the long-term plan after this year. I was of the thought process of we're going to sit him, let him watch, let him rest his body, and then we're going to try to keep that guy out of as much physical strain, football activity as we possibly can because we know he's the future on the offensive line. We know he's an investment. We drafted him in the second round. Knowing his history, knowing his trials and tribulations, and we still drafted him. A lot of people question the draft pick, knowing his injury history, knowing this team's history with injuries. So how healthy is Landon Dickerson? He came in for Brandon Brooks in the San Fran game, so he got reps with the starting lineup, and that's good for him. Now, how will he perform against the Dallas Cowboys? That all remains to be seen. I have high hopes for the guy. He's clearly the more talented, has the more upside when it comes to Nate Herbig, or in comparison to Nate Herbig. Nate Herbig more so is a rotational guy. We don't know really what his ceiling is, but we know he's teachable. We know he's also capable of being cross-trained and playing either guard position. But Landon Dickerson, he's going to be starting with Lane Johnson at right tackle, himself at right guard, Kelsey at center, Samalu at left guard, and Melada at left tackle. This offensive line has been doing a pretty good job so far. The first week they gave up 1 sack. The following week, they gave up 2 sacks. Now, that was against Joey Bosa. That was it. Joey Bosa is a dynamo. He's a beast. So you only can do but so much against a guy like that. But we have a tall task ahead of us. I understand the Dallas Cowboys have injuries on the defensive line. They're missing some linebackers, so on and so forth. But we still have to remain disciplined. First of all, the discipline needs to improve on the O-line in general. There have been way too many key offensive line-related penalties through the first 2 games. And then when you think about it from this respect, the offense in totality, isn't dynamic enough to bounce back from particular penalties. They aren't dynamic enough to, or even develop enough to bounce back from significant penalties like the ones we've been experiencing. There's entirely too much experience on that O-line to be having those type of setbacks. Jeff Stoutland, I know he holds these guys accountable. Don't get it twisted. I know he does. But there has to be something to it. What's going on? It's 2 weeks in a row we've had key offensive line penalties. Will there ever be a week where we don't have offensive line miscues? And it's mainly been false starts, meaning the timing's been off. They've been out of sync. Are they out of sync with Jalen Hurts? I don't know. It all remains to be seen. But this offensive line has a lot to clean up when it comes to the penalties. We cannot win games knowing that we have a lot of development to do if we keep continuing on this volatile path of penalties. The first game of the season, I think we had like 14, 15 penalties. Then this past week against the 49ers, I believe we had 9 penalties, 8 penalties. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure how many, but we had way too much. And all the penalties came in key positions. So it's going to be so important, especially against Dallas, to really stay motivated, stay consistent, maintain an attention to detail. And again, just stay disciplined. Like I said, it's Dallas week, and the Eagles need this win to make a statement, especially in this division. Right now, there are 3 teams 1-1, and the Giants are the Giants at 0-2. But we can make a commanding statement. We can make a commanding statement in this division if we beat the Cowboys the way we're presently constructed. Because I firmly believe this team will only get better. Not just us, but the Cowboys as well. And if we can start the season off strong in our first division matchup against the Dallas Cowboys and win on the road Monday Night Primetime in Jerry World, oh yeah, we're on the right track. And then we'll pretty much leave the month 2-1. And I'm not mad at that. We must win in the trenches. The offensive line has to stay stout. They have to command the pace of the game. Otherwise, Jalen Hurts will be running for his life. And that's the last thing we want. And I'll leave it at that. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose to chalk it up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, most importantly, stay hungry. Fly Eagles fly.